Alright, so we're back, and this is the NWP electronic throttle body by Hitachi, which is 75 millimeters, which is a big upgrade from the 70 millimeter throttle body right there. Attached to my Frankenstein short ram intake right there. Engine, by the way. Get that together. Dry cone filters here. Not that wet shit that fucks up your mass airflow sensor over time. Alright, let's see. I got this from eBay from a reputable buyer from well, more like a reputable seller from New York, and I got this for a good price. Actually, I think it was half the price it goes for. So these go for at least $300, $350 and up. And oh, I'm dropping shit already. Fucking up. Well, first thing that came out is the connector, which will be needed for the upgrade from a 70 millimeter to a 75 millimeter. Here's your connector. Alright. Let's look in here, see what else we got. From here we have the connector. Bam. You're gonna need that, of course. And the throttle body. That's what we're at. Hey, before we get there, hardware. VQ35DE 75 millimeter. The bolts right here. This is what you need. Because without them, you ain't bolting up shit. Alright. Come on, get you out of the way. And there's the throttle body, that infamous 75 millimeter throttle body. With the caps for the coolant lines, which we do not need, BTW. Oh shit. And FYI, do not, I repeat, do not touch the throttle body openings. Right there, you can see is like a thumbprint or index print. This is how it was when I bought it. I didn't touch that shit, because I already know the dangers of touching this thing. It's very, very fickle. Alright, so boom, that's the throttle body. Now let's get up in here. Actually, just a side note, I have these thermal spacers on the car. So with the thermal spacers on the car, you need extended bolts. But I think these are the bolts they actually gave me right here. So you can actually, let me see if I can put it on here. Bam, you can see that little black piece right here. It's all dusty. There's my spacer right there, thermal spacer for the throttle body. And it actually, there's another thermal spacers down here throughout the engine. It was like a 4-piece kit, so it's kind of hard to tell with all this fucking oil and shit in the way, all this mess. Need to clean this engine bay. But yeah, let's read the instructions real quick. It's pretty straightforward. We have our black RTV sealant. Right, you're gonna need that gasket marker, definitely. So when you peel off the excess RTV sealant that was on there prior, take care of that with a razor blade. There we go, scrape some of that off with that. And here's the instructions. It's pretty straightforward. This is for 0306 350Z, 0307 G35 sedan or coupe. Same thing for the sedan. And of course, this is for the 2002-2008 Maxima. And also the 3.5 liter Ultima 2002-2006. Pretty much straightforward. In the diagram, the first one is just showing us the throttle body, where it's located, how we take it apart, what tools we need. Let me show you what tools you'll need. Hang on. So pretty much straightforward. We'll be taking these couplers off. Anything like these screws, probably 8 millimeters, take those off, pull this off. I'm just gonna take this off as one whole unit, and then I'm gonna be right here at the throttle body, so that way I can go straight to the throttle body, take those little 4 bolts off, and take some of that old RT black sealant off, peel it off, and add some more. So let's get busy and start taking off this short ram intake, and let's do it. I'll be right back. Alright, so I remove the intake. like so. Boom. Be sure to plug your negative terminal post right there, of course. So don't run into electrical problems or anything of the sort. Just to be safe, precaution measure. Plug that. And now we're about to get to these bolts right here. There's one, there's two, there's a third one up here, right there, three, and the fourth one is down here in the cut. Hang on, my index is pointing right over here. I can hardly get the camera in there, but I'm gonna take this off and be right back. All right, cool, I'm back. So we got these bolts loose. 1, 2, 3. Pull these off. 1, 2. So put that off. This one's at the bottom. All right. It's over there. Let's see. Alright. So as you can see, that throttle body's on there. That throttle body is sealed on there, man. Look at that. No budging. So we're gonna need to use a little bit of elbow grease to get this baby off. The RTV sealant is no joke. No joke. Alright, so 1 second. I'm gonna elbow grease this bitch, and we're gonna get this throttle body off. So with some slight finessing, there it is. Throttle body all burnt up, all dirty and old, all been there since 2001. Now it's time for an upgrade. Get this shit off. Good thing is though, I will save this. I never know if I might need this, or I don't know. That's just me. I usually like to save my OEM parts, but it was fully functional and everything, but definitely can benefit from getting that upgrade in there. Look at that, all burnt up in there. Let's step it up. Let's put the big boy on here. No more games. No more games. This VQ needs to breathe. And this will be technically my final mod till it's time to upgrade my fuel injectors and the fuel pump, and possibly switch to the E85, which I do not really want to do. I feel like I benefit more from a 93 octane and not waste so much E85, because E85 goes in and out the door. Alright, so back to work. Let's get some of this excess RTV. You can see it on here. Try to be real easy with this, you know. Try to finesse it. Don't try to go too deep, just lightly, just let it scrape off. You can see it coming off right now, slowly but surely. Please disregard the trash guy. I'm out here working in the morning in my neighborhood, and usually quiet, but it's Monday, so trash man comes in. Clean those up. Alright, we'll get something to wipe this off with, and I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. Let's try wiping this off. Get the excess off of there. Alright. Because last thing you want is old RTV sealant on here. It will not seal with an old seal not peeled off correctly. It's like the mating surfaces will not mate. Yeah, use a little napkin here. Good thing it's not windy outside. FYI, you do not want that open with the wind blowing. Everything's going inside your fucking intake, bro. Alright. So let's put some gasket on there, some gasket marker. Good thing is with this application is that you don't have to use much. Very little goes a long way. Once we get this clear. Let's see. It's been a minute since I used this cap. Oh man, it should take rubber cement. Damn, there's a lot of ceiling in here on TV. Jeez. Alright, so I got the sealant. It turns out there was a hole in the side, of course. My luck. So I'm just going to apply it with my finger. A little bit of application. There we go. You don't really need a lot, just like a thin film around the edges, and be sure not to get the holes, because of course we're going to be using the screws to put in those holes, and the last thing we want is to seal up those holes, or to possibly seal up the hole over here to the intake, which would create some blockage. Now this is cool. The spacer itself, like this, NWP, they want this facing upward. So it'll be facing like this. Along those lines. Yeah. So the NWP will facing upward, like so. We'll apply it onto here. And I'm gonna put a little bit of RTV sealant on this also. Just to be sure, to put a little bit more there. We just want a thin consistency, not a thick application of it, because it will cake up and not do any favors in getting those holes, and then really seal the deal, literally. So it's official. The NWP spacer is on, facing upward. God, I can speak. And we got the locking screws in there. Boom, boom, boom. And now it's time to install that throttle body. And we're gonna throw it on there, and I'll be right back. Also, these screws right here is what we're gonna be using to lock that on there. All right, let's do this. Body, that's locked on there, and we're gonna finish off fastening these screws. There's a numerical order you should take it in. And that's the top right first. It's almost like a star pattern, like that's good. Usually how I do the pounds per square inch is usually, or inches into pounds, whatever. Usually I do it is that I do it through the wrist turns, so you can feel like the tension. Like, all right, right now it's getting tight, so I'm gonna go ahead and crank it. And I feel that tension right there, like it's gonna pop. That's good. So that's 1, 2. So we'll start from here. Get this last bolt off here. As you probably notice, I got a lot of door latch shit. I mean, AutoZone comes through for me more than O'Reilly's does. And then sometimes O'Reilly's come through more than AutoZone. So there we go, that's tight, that's good. And let's get the last screw on there. And after this process, we'll be hooking up the connector. So let's do that. Let's look at the clearance right now. So this is what your pie face like. I just have to move these coolant lines a little bit below right here, because there's kind of an issue with these bad boys hitting it, but nothing I can deal with. So I'll just move those down a little bit, get those out of the way. Plug that in a second. Let me get the connector. All right, so this works. Put this up to here. Ah. Get off of there. There we go. Bam. So that's how you connect that. But let's get this intake on real quick, and I'll be right back. All right. So it turns out that don't fit. Oh no. So I had to go back into the bank, grab this old coupler I had since I bought this car. Here. Alright, clamp this down. Alright, so it's official. NWP Ryan Tough on here with the 75mm throttle body with the thermal gasket spacer right there, right there. It's all on the car, bro. A lot of us is lagging out there, don't have those thermal spacer kits on the car, wondering why our engines are still running hot and getting heat soaked. Use those thermal spacers. I can't stress it enough. But everything's hooked up. Plugged everything back in. The plug-in right here, the harness, is going under because I didn't want to go over because I thought it looked ghetto. Let's see. Let's get in here. There we go. The green connector right here, and it goes right in there, right under, and it bolts right. I mean, it clicks right in. It's good. It's ready to go. All right. So what I'm gonna do is let the car sit for like maybe a couple of hours, let the RTV sealant do its thing so I can clear out, and then from there I will turn on the car and see if I need to do the idle relearn process or a couple of pedal dances, whatever I got to do. But I will tune back in with you guys and we'll let this sit for a couple, and we'll move on from there and check out the 0-60s times.